back with an all-new show, Damaged Blue. Look, these streets are crazy, and I'm tired. I went on my show Gagging last night, and I told the fans that I am tired because I've been in these streets with rappers. Damage. I don't know how you people in music do this studio thing, but I ended up at the studio the other night with a bunch of artists, in particular Big Sean and Kanye West, who were talking about the Drink Champs interview. And I was
What?
looking around, I was looking around not only for cameras, but I was making sure I was near an exit because it got really tense. But it was, there was a lot of love in the room because ultimately they care about each other, but they had to have a real conversation. And I don't know why I was invited to be in the middle of it, but either way, what came out of it is that they're getting along again, and I have Big Sean's number. So I'm just happy that I didn't have to come and give another report today.
Yeah, because I feel like they was going to come to blows. I mean, Kanye went on the interview and brought out a damn tombstone. That's what it was, right? Talking about Big Sean's career. I'm like, that's not cool. I'm glad they got to piece that up, and you were actually be there as a witness to see them actually piece that up.
Well, the fact that he brought a prop is how I knew he wasn't really mad. You don't bring props when you're really angry. I think it was just two brothers who had a falling out. So I'm not surprised.
Me? I'm a prop.
No, the tombstone. Kanye brought a prop to Drink Champs that said "Rest in Peace" about Big Sean because he thought he was a big mistake. But I think the fact that they're letting you in the room, Jason, knowing that you are Black media, just speaks to the relationships you're building. Because I think a lot of your competitors would have loved to have been in that room as well.
Well, for those of you that are listening that don't know what happened, this is what Ye, he goes by Ye. Let's be very clear, it's not Kanye. This is what Ye said on Drink Champs that got the internet going crazy. Take a listen.
All right.
Hurry, man.
Pusha or Big Sean?
Oh, I love this. Let me tell you. This ain't nothing quick about this quick time. Let me see if this works right. Okay. So I already decided that when I die, on my tombstone, it's going to say, I deserve to be here because I signed Big Sean.
So I'm not quite sure of your pick.
Yeah, you're not quite sure.
So,
Big Sean, he said,
Big Sean over Pusha T?
No, I'm saying that the worst thing I've ever done was sign Big Sean.
That's a beautiful thing. Oh, that's a beautiful thing, man.
No, wait.
The worst.
He just said the worst.
The worst. Oh, this is the best.
Yeah, I know. You right now. Algorithm.
Come on. I thought you said the best. Okay, hold on.
Nah, man, look, they let that... Man, I know this man mama, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've changed this man's family, and both John Legend and Big Sean, when I ran for office, got used quick by the Democrats to come at they boy that actually changed their life. And that's some sellout. And I don't rock with neither of them. And I need my apologies. I ain't saying they gonna change, but scared. I feel you.
Let me get it off. Okay, you gonna say something genius. Go.
With John and Sean.
John Legend.
John Legend.
Sean.
No. I just saw it as a rap thing.
Okay.
Puff is my goat and twin. Goat and twin.
So you're not letting. Okay.
So
let's get to it.
With Sean and John, Pusha voted Democrat, voted for Kamala. We ain't seen her since the election either, and. I ain't seen you saw Whole Foods. I ain't seen it since the election. They got 94% of the Black female vote. You would have thought Drake was running. Pusha didn't come out and outright diss me to the public.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, he like, man, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I didn't diss Virgil when he took the Louis thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. These people came out, and then John Legend, he sounds so white. He was like the rapper. It's just like, man, it's like, where's God in this conversation? You know what I'm saying? Who do you work for? Because if you don't work for God, then you're working for the devil. So who you working for at this point? I'm a man of God. God got me covered. And as long as I'm alive, God's not finished.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
well, Big Sean saw that and he went back on Drink Champs after Ye did, and he said this.
Ye described it on our show was that you just went and supported, I guess, Hillary Clinton or the Democrats or whatever, and
I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't.
But here's how you described it.
No,
right?
but here's the thing.
Okay, go ahead.
And I didn't.
Right. Go ahead.
And I did not.
Right.
In fact, I supported him, and while he was running for president, I didn't even have his number.
Right.
And I'm trying to reach out to him. Right. So what I'm supposed to do? Support somebody that I can't even get in contact with at the time, which I still did. So I don't care what people agree with me. If you think that like I'm wrong in any way in this situation, you must. I feel you. You love this man. Right. I love this man. Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. But that's shit though. Right.
So listen,
it was bro. It's just like he's texted me and been like, this line on this song, that was my motto for a whole year. He ain't get up here none of that. He said ass, trying to make me look crazy. Like that's all the type of music I make, and that's not true. And the track record speaks for it. Not anything, not people's opinions. Right. Even whether that's a song that maybe somebody only heard, but my track record speaks for itself as far as millions of records sold, and as far as impact, bro, people come up to me, they don't come up to me and say ass. People be like, oh, one man can change the world, change my life. You going crazy on Paradise. Can I rap Paradise with you? I don't. Really, most people say, boy, I do it. That's what they be saying to me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody ever came up to me and said ass. So it was a personal attack for no reason to me. You know?
It was funny though.
Listen, I thought some blows was gonna be thrown too. Me and French Montana was sitting there in the corner, and Pusha T was across from us with a mask on. And what I will say was, it was really a couple of things that I took away. It was great to see some black men have, issues that spilled out into the public, be able to have the same tense, emotional, honest conversation privately, but come out of it saying that we've gotten past it, now let's move forward. And also to welcome me in, because again, the biggest thing we've been saying here at the show is it's not about labeling us or treating us as outsiders, but it's allowing us to be a part of the process and the conversation so we can tell our stories better. And I think Ye making sure I was there and being able to talk to Big Sean and confirm that he has not received our invitations to the show, I thought was important. So hopefully he'll be pulling up here soon.
Boy. Jason, I have a quick question. Are you allowed to take pictures when you're at these events, or is it like a no picture rule?
Yeah, but I have a rule that when we're in private time, I like to respect private time, and I don't want to, I'm just building the relationship and trust with these people so we can get them here. Big Sean did say he was going to come on the show, that he was excited to build with us. So Big Sean, I'm holding you accountable to that. And I think that with Pusha and, people seeing Ye feel comfortable around me, I think does change the optics that we're the enemy. We've never wanted to be the enemy. We are just fans of the culture with a platform. And Hollywood Unlocked is definitely open for business. And so, I also threatened French Montana that if he doesn't come here, we may have to write some stories about him that aren't favorable. But he laughed and he said he was coming. So, but I'll tell you a rapper who's not laughing, and that's NLE Choppa. Baby, he is chopping fans down at the airport. NLE Choppa, who's a young artist, was caught on video getting into a fight while walking through an airport. Now, there's a clip that's went viral all over social media showing him just kind of strolling through the terminal with his backpack on, and a fan walks up to him and says, "Are you NLE?" And then this is what happened. Take a look.
Not at a raffle. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to pull the video.
It's scary. Yeah, are you NLE? I asked you mad times. What? Stop playing with me. Yeah. What's up? Yeah, so what's up? Yeah, what's up?
Well, listen, it got black there, the screen did at the end, but another angle was shot, and we were able to see what happened because Instagram was saying that he had got knocked out, and he had said he knocked him out, but it wasn't actually true. This was the second clip of the clout chase moment when a rapper was caught off guard by a crazy fan. Take a look.
I asked you mad times. What? Stop playing with me.
Yikes. I feel like Jason Derulo is behind this. Like, because of him, now everybody wants to have a boxing match impromptu in the middle of the damn airport. This is not okay.
But I think this is another case of fans gone crazy. I understand that people want to have these moments, and with clout chasing and social media being crazy, this is a chance for somebody to get a look shared all across social media, because this person with a bad haircut and poor filming capabilities would have never made it to our show. But like, here's a chance. Here's a chance for us to peek into how people are using social media now. One, NLE, where's your security?
Where they at?
You're a father to be. Why are you walking around? You've already been in an altercation at the beach when a man slammed you on your neck. Fan, why are you harassing this rapper who could have put out a knife and slit you across the throat or killed you right there in the middle of Delta Airlines? I don't know what's happening, but either way, I don't like it, and I just don't think that people should be running up on people like that.
No, and why do we keep documenting our crimes? Like, you approaching somebody and swinging on them first is a crime at the airport. Why are we doing this, people? Stop. Put your phones away when you're committing crimes. NLE, I don't know why you're strolling through the airport with your backpack alone, but you should be able to do that. Honestly, that's your right. But we have to stop documenting these crimes. This is just getting petty.
What you call a crime, they call content. So for them, it's not a crime; it's a come up. They don't see it as a crime at all. A lot of times, people settle.
I love the fact that NLE took off on him. Yes, he's an artist. But he's still a young bull from the swamps or wherever. That's what they say. He ain't scared of you. And I love the fact that the guy actually acted like he was gonna swing, and then NLE actually swung. I say it's self-defense. That man is innocent. And I'm gonna tell you, some of you fans that are out here doing this crazy thing, you never know who you're gonna run up on. For example, I am a concealed weapons holder. What would happen if you would have walked up and flinched on me and I'd have pulled out a pistol and pistol whipped you right there in the middle of the airport?
Be picking up your teeth right there at the airport.
Why are you pistol whipping people at the airport? No.
Whole mouth got sent to baggage claim because you wanted a moment for Instagram. I just think that you can't expect celebrities to not be human. Like, they're still human. The other night when I was in a conversation, me and AB were talking about, him coming on the show, and the conversation got a little serious. It just is what it is. But, I'm not just a fan. I'm also a fan with a platform. So I would actually came and talk about it, but I don't provoke celebrities, into violent situations like that. And, the next thing you'd see is this guy who's probably a TikToker filing a lawsuit to sue him.
Yep.
And I would be there to testify and say, Your Honor, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Needs to go to jail. So shout out to NLE Choppa. So look, NLE did respond to what happened, and he posted a tweet, and this is what he said. The difference from getting hit and falling in flip-flops and falling on your own. I failed throwing a punch. I ain't get hit till I was on the way down, and my backpack 20 pounds. Buddy lip swole, everything I threw connected. Well, you spelled through incorrectly, but I do know what.
He don't have to explain himself. We gotta stop doing that too. You don't have to go in there and write a grammatically incorrect tweet to explain yourself. We seen what happened. We seen the footage. The dude approached you. Even if he did knock you out, you weren't even on guard. Like, he would have got no points for that. So it's all good. You don't need to explain yourself.
So NLE also said that he hurt his ankle and that his whole ankle rolled in the altercation. He posted a screenshot of the man's face, insinuating that his lip got swollen. I don't think that is bullying. I think that is just giving more information and coloring in the experience.
Well, Jason, it's Mercury retrograde season, so be prepared for us to be talking about fights every week for the next month.
Well, listen, Mercury retrograde this season's been great to me. So if this is what Mercury retrograde feels like, please retrograding.
No.
Okay. Listen, I want to tell you about something serious that happened over in New York City. There were survivors of a deadly Bronx fire. This fire broke out and a lot of people were hurt. Some people died. Now there's $1 billion lawsuit against the building's landlords. And I believe Cardi B has made a donation to the victims of this fire. But let me just tell you a little bit, and since you're not caught up. So this past week, there was a fire that took place in the Bronx out in New York City. Now, officials are saying that there were a total of 17 people who died, and at least 6 people were hurt as a result. Now, if you haven't seen the fire, we did post it on Hollywood Unlocked. Take a look. Now, 2 of the survivors have become the first ones to file a lawsuit following the fire. And they're seeking $1 billion in damages from the owners of the building as well as the managers. Now, in the lawsuit, the survivors are accusing the landlords of failing to make sure that the front doors of each apartment were self-closing and ensure that there were working smoke detectors in all the units, and the ones that were there weren't working. Okay, and so either way, they want to make sure that there's a working sprinkler system, and all of it was just super bad. So the New York Law Department said, quote, there's an active investigation into this tragic incident and will review the claim. That's the response to all the dead bodies.
It's sad because I've lived in buildings like that growing up, and they'll put so much energy and effort into getting their rent. They're knocking on the doors, they're putting up notices, but you're not securing the premises to make sure it's safe. You know, we've seen this. I've seen buildings collapse. We've seen buildings catch on fire. There was another building that caught on fire in Philadelphia. This is sad, and I do want to salute the heavy hitters of the DJ crew on my part, because all 100 of us donated money to the cause of what happened over there in the Bronx. But it's just a sad story.
And I actually used to live in the South Bronx for about 3 years, and I lived in one of those buildings. And it was a 5th floor walk up because legally you don't need elevators until you have a 6th floor. And there were several times when the fire alarm went off where I was concerned that I wouldn't make it down to the 1st floor. So a lot of those places are death traps. And to Damage's point, they'll ask you to have 40 times the rent as your annual income just to be living in this little cardboard box that is flammable with no elevator. So I really feel bad for that borough, because the Bronx is the poorest borough in New York, and they really need resources in general. So I'm happy that celebrities are being very visible about this, because they really do need the resources. These people do not have a savings account and can afford to be displaced from their homes for much longer.
Well, shout out to my girl Cardi. She's agreed to step up and pay for all the funerals of the victims and helping with their arrangements. She said in a statement, quote, I cannot begin to imagine the pain and anguish that the families of the victims are experiencing, but I hope that not having to worry about the costs associated with burying their loved ones will help as they move forward and heal. She also said that she sends her prayers and condolences to everyone affected by the horrific tragedy. Look, Cardi is, I don't know if she or J-Lo are the queen of the Bronx, but the fact that she stepped up to help her community is important. But I have to ask you, why is New York and other places where disenfranchised communities have these project living situations treated like their lives don't matter? I mean, you have people, see, in New York, people are living on top of people on top of people. Why are you not making sure that it's at least, designed or managed in a way that makes sure that when people go to sleep, they can actually wake up in the morning?
Because there's no incentive. It's funny you're mentioning this, because I went to a dinner party on Monday, and everybody at that dinner party was male and from New York, except for one other person. And so I'm sitting around all these New York dudes, and we're talking about what it's like back on the East Coast. And one of the things they mentioned is New York really is one of the greatest cities in the world. And because it's so heavily saturated and so heavily coveted, there is no incentive for people who are doing housing developments to do any better. They know that if you decide not to stay somewhere because it's not safe, there's 500 other families who would kill to have your position to be living in that home. So because New York is so popular, nobody has an incentive to do right by those of us who are not rich and famous and have a platform where we can call them out. So that's unfortunate, but it's the greatest city in the world, which is why landlords use it to take advantage of their communities.
But you would think, in that same token, if you're thirsty for the money, you would protect the investment. So you got all these people living in there. Don't you want to keep them alive so they can keep paying this rent? It just seems like it's just so irresponsible, and it's just so sad how much care about your neighbors, like these managers and these landlords. Don't they live there too? Like, you don't want to survive?
They don't live there.
Right.
It's just a property investment.
Should more celebrities step up? I mean, we see Cardi doing something. I don't know. Maybe I've missed it because I haven't really been plugged in too much to social media. But should more celebrities feel responsible or obligated to do more for their community? I mean, it is the Bronx. I'm sure there's a lot of artists from the Bronx that have not stepped up.
I think, isn't that what we have the mayor for? And isn't this why we vote? I think it is dope that people from the communities that, got some money go back and donate, but there's some people we hold responsible for these things, right? So I'm not saying we shouldn't have celebrities come back and help, but also we need to start holding people accountable that we elect in these certain places and these certain avenues, because we can't keep putting all the pressure on the celebrities and all the pressure on the regular people when we're electing people into power that's supposed to take care of certain things.
Yeah, but not everybody votes. And I think a lot of times celebrities can use their platforms to put pressure on those elected officials, right? So if there's a mayor who is doing something that is not good for the community, a celebrity could take 5 minutes and say, hey, Mayor such and such is a piece of blankety blank. This is where you can email him to let him know what you think. So I think there's a hand-in-hand thing that happens. I think politicians are realizing that they have their own version of celebrity, but not everybody likes their mayor. So if you don't like your mayor, you didn't vote for him, you don't care what he has to say. So I do think we shouldn't assume that all celebrities should cut a check, because just because because you're famous does not mean that you have money. I've learned that living in LA. So some celebrities can't afford to help in the way that Cardi has. So thank God she's that successful. Sometimes a celebrity can only give their platform for exposure, but they can't cut a check.
Well, let's be very clear. The mayor thinks all these people are just regular people anyway. What did he say in that press conference where he talked about the lack of low-skilled workers? Shout out to the Bronx. You guys are a resilient community, and New York is New York. So I'm praying that everybody out there grows stronger. Well, another person that is clearly showing or flexing their muscles, Amber Rose. Now, she shared a message on Twitter or Instagram or somewhere on social media about this tweet that resurfaced. Now, people have dug up a tweet. Now, y'all already know I've been a victim of digging up old tweets. Kevin Hart's been a victim of digging up old tweets. I think there needs to be a moratorium on anybody who has a problem with anybody who's used Twitter before 2019, maybe 2020, because everybody did crazy tweets. Well, Amber did one in 2015 that has been resurfaced and has gone viral, and she called out the Kardashians and Kanye West. She tweeted this back in the day. Kanye West, I'll leave that up to the Kardashians to humiliate you when they're done with you, end quote. So Amber and Ye went back and forth on Twitter. You remember it was really nasty. This is when he had went on the Breakfast Club. And in the interview, he said it's very hard for a woman to be with someone that's with Amber Rose. I had to take 30 showers before I got with Kim. That just had Twitter going crazy. We all know out of that relationship, Amber started the walk to really end shaming for women. And then Ye's gone on to become a part of the whole Kardashian world. Well, Amber went on social media once this went viral again, and this is what she posted. She said, man, that old ass tweet. I never got an apology for his 30 showers comment, but it. I started my walk and helped millions of women around the world stand up for themselves against shaming. So something amazing came out of it. Kim nor her sisters deserve that tweet, and y'all shouldn't co-sign that either. Was old and immature as of me to involve the Kardashians in the mess he made. Moving forward, learn from my mistakes. We all have kids and families. Life is hard enough right now for a lot of people. I just want to spread love and positivity. Mother.
I love it. I love it. I feel like in the moment, I'm sure she was mad at everybody, including the Kardashians, because as you can see, Kanye went on from messing with Amber to moving on to the Kardashians or whatever. And honestly, I don't know if Kim had anything to do with that. I don't know the behind the scenes. Actually, I've heard some things. But anyway, I think it shows growth in Amber. I think at that time, she probably was mad at Kanye and everybody in the world. But, as this tweet comes up, people are trying to bring up old tweets and hold people to them. I'm sure Amber doesn't feel like that now. She's a mother. Kim's a mother. Kanye's a father. It's a lot of stuff going on, and it's no point of dwelling on the past.
You know what I love about this tweet is that Amber is exhibiting something that some of her biggest critics don't have, and that's emotional intelligence. Because if you really look at the statement she said, there are a million reasons why she could have circumvented taking accountability for her actions, because she knows that the community doesn't like the Kardashians. She knows that Ye sometimes is in and out of public favor. She could have hid behind a million reasons why it was everybody else's fault. Instead, she took it on the chin and said, regardless of what was going on, I take responsibility for my actions because I've grown. So she is actually incredibly emotionally intelligent. And I want people to recognize that she just showed what a real apology looks like because she took accountability without making excuses, even when she could.
Let me say this. We have to stop digging up old tweets. Now, we're not going to stop promoting them when they go viral because we're the pulse of pop culture. If pop culture is making it go viral, we have to post it. But at some point, folks, you have to remember, when we had AOL dial-up and we were on the party lines, do you want to bring up old recordings and when we were trying to hook up? Or do we enjoy the advancement of technology and love that we can now swipe right in our own privacy? Like, we was all on the party line, playing around, changing our voices, going into private rooms. At least I know I was. I
was on the party line.
I just feel like with the evolution of social media, it's just made it too easy to cancel people. Now, I personally think that, like, my own experience with dragging Kevin Hart for his own tweets and then getting drugged for mine, let's just agree that everybody before 2017 or 18 were just stupid on social media. And if you weren't, it was because you were scared to be stupid and you were just stupid in private. I don't think it's cool. And then also, at what point does Amber Rose move on? At what point does Ye apologize for the 30 showers comment? At what point is there closure? And what does closure look like for that couple who's no longer a couple? Like, you guys are no longer connected to each other. Move on.
Well, closure by definition means clarity, and I think Amber's clear. I think she's very clear about where she stands.
All right, so let me ask you guys, and I'll share before you tell me if there's ever been a moment in any relationship you've ever had where you're still caught up in that relationship because you have not had closure. And I'll tell you, for me, I think the relationship I wrote about in my book, God Must Have Forgot About Me, was when chapter 5, Toxic as, when I was with this guy who lied to me, cheated on me, and stole from me within the first week or month, or I don't know, first quarter of us being together. And I ended up staying with him for 3 years after that. But one thing I will say is it made me cheat. I didn't lie about it, but it just made me a real toxic person in that relationship. And then what I think it did was it really ultimately set the bar for me in terms of what an all-time low is. Like, I'm no longer going to be with somebody that doesn't respect me, that doesn't value me, that doesn't protect me, that doesn't treat me with the respect that I deserve, if there's no transactional value in our love sharing. And so I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about self-love and why it was important to love myself. Now, I haven't seen him since I dropped him off at the bus stop because I didn't even get him a plane ticket. I put him on a
Damn.
bus with a dog and his clothes, all his clothes, and sent him on his merry way. And I have not seen him since. And so part of me wonders, like, do I want to see him again to, have closure? Or do I want to see him again to go, look at me now? I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know? Like you might go back? Like, don't know? You've been thinking about it?
Uh,
Oh,
No, I
oh.
don't. I will never go back. I'm saying I don't know if I want to see him again to have closure. We never really had a conversation about the ending of it all. It just kind of ended and was like, peace.
Jason, I don't think you want closure. I think you might want revenge. Because again, and this is something that and not to put my teacher hat on, a lot of times when you say you want closure, you just want the last word. You don't actually want closure. Closure means that you are clear about why you didn't work, and there's no ambiguity about why you're incompatible. So if you're really clear about why you didn't work, that's not closure. That's revenge. You just want them to see how big you are and be like, nah, 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 poo poo in his face. But like, that's not
Well, I
closure.
mean, I'm sure he's seen me somewhere, right? But I just
Of
think that there
course.
needs to be some apology. Like, I feel like in many ways I'm owed an apology for how things ended and how things were. I think a lot of people get into these toxic situations and then leave and then continue to just breed toxicity among every relationship they come in contact with. I thankfully was able to learn from mine, but no, I think I'm owed an apology.
Yeah.
I haven't heard him. He hasn't popped up on social media trying to get clout ton any of our business, which I guess I can appreciate. But I still feel like out of all the relationships I've ever had, this is one that did not give me the full closure that one needs to move
The
on. But I mean,
acknowledgement, yeah, you probably want to be acknowledged too, right? Because when someone apologizes, they have to acknowledge how they were ungrateful in the moment. And so a lot of times when we want an apology, we just want you to acknowledge that I was good to you and you were to me. Can you just acknowledge that so that I know that I didn't make that up? You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times a simple apology isn't just about getting your ego stroked. It's saying you can't repeat a mistake. I mean, sorry, you can't fix a mistake that you haven't admitted that you did in the first place. So when somebody apologizes, then they can say, I can do better. But if you don't apologize, you're probably going to repeat your mistakes over and over and over again.
And
that
let's
part.
be real, those closure conversations either end in an argument or a very unnecessary fling that might pop off because, everybody's acting like they're their best selves at the moment. And sometimes apologies do come and you might slide back into a situation you need to slide your ass out of. So those closure conversations scare me sometimes because it's like, I'm not trying to get in this argument with you because I might not agree with what you're trying to say is closure. Or I might agree with you in that we're off on this fling that we shouldn't be in because we are still the same people. You still the piece of shit you used to be. And that's what it is. So sometimes I've had closure conversations and you start talking to the person again. And it's like, I don't know why I'm doing this because the same outcome comes. So
Damage,
it's
that
scary.
means
Yeah,
you don't trust
I,
yourself.
I don't know what outcome is coming in your life, but I am not sliding in anything.
Yeah.
I am over it. I am over it. But I do think that, there's I'm the type of person in any relationship that I just really need to talk it out one good time and then close the door. Like, if I talk it out with the door kind of open, it's just kind of like, damn, what was that, right? Now, have
Yeah.
either one of you had a situation, a relationship where you feel like you haven't received closure and you actually could benefit from it?
I have All right, you know what? It's a good day. It's a new year. I'm safe. Yeah, I do have a closure situation where I wasn't dating someone, but we were really close for about 2 years, and then one day out of nowhere, he confessed to me on G Chat that he was in love with me, but I was in the bathroom, and like got caught up and didn't come back for an hour. And in that hour, he like lost his mind and was like, "Well, never mind. I don't love you anyways. I didn't mean," like freaked out on me. And so I like set up a time for us to have a conversation and like work through it. He imploded so bad. He did not talk to me for 2 years. He said, "I love you," and then wouldn't talk to me for 2 years. And this was one of my best friends. So it wasn't like it was like a simple relationship. Several years later, he comes back and is like, I was really, really immature and loving you scared me. And so I had to make you the bad guy and pretend I was mad at you because I was better than me feeling rejected. And then he tried to the damages point, tried to rekindle the flame. But here's the difference though. I trusted myself. So when somebody tries to rekindle the flame, they can only trick you if you don't trust yourself. So I understood in that moment. I was like, no, you've already shown me that you have no ability to deal with conflict in a healthy way. So even though I loved you 5 years ago, I don't trust you anymore. So thank you for the apology, but no. So you can circumvent the attempt.
Well, he sounds like the lead actor in the show You. Somebody who's showing up.
Joe.
Yeah, he sounds like Joe. He sounds Joe-ish. I mean, like after 5 years, you came back and talked about a G chat.
Hey,
Jason, if you said I love you to somebody and they didn't respond for an hour, you might feel like you got rejected. I just have to be.
No, because people are working, people are busy, people might be taking a maybe their bowel shifted the wrong direction. Right. But I mean, I think the fact that he overreacted after not being responded to for an hour
exactly
made him a little Joe-ish for me. But anyway, God bless him wherever he is. What about you, Damage?
He's rich now.
No, and I don't trust myself because accountability sounds good when you're having those like closure conversations. Oh man, you can say all the right stuff, and I'm gonna believe it sometimes. So no, is there a situation that needs closure? There was one, and it ended up into a fling, and this is why I am done with closure conversations. If it's over, it's over. If we don't know why it ended, then we just don't know why anymore. I'm not going back to have these conversations.
You said it ended up in a fling. What does that mean?
Oh yeah, because it's like, oh man, why did we break up? And it's like, I don't know, like what really happened? Was it really us? And then it's like we kind of convinced ourselves that it wasn't a problem. And then as soon as we start talking again, it's like, no, there was a problem. This is the problem. Because sometimes you can break up with somebody, and for me, I don't know if I block it out. You sometimes forget the ultimate reason on why you broke up if it wasn't so toxic. Because every breakup doesn't have to be a super nasty, toxic situation. So you can forget, like, what was it? And then as you start talking for a few days, like, oh, I remember, you are stalking me. You're always on my social media. You're always checking my comments, and I'm just making things up. So that's what happened with me. It sounded good during the closure conversation. Once we started talking for a few days, few weeks, I was like, oh no, now I remember.
Damage just proved my point. Remember what I said, if you don't acknowledge something, you're going to repeat it? When somebody is stalking you and doesn't say, hey, I'm sorry for stalking you, I'm acknowledging it happened, because you didn't make them acknowledge it, now you're going to forget and they get to do it all over again. This is why I don't care what you've done to me, how small it is. If you don't acknowledge it, I will never trust you because you're going to repeat it. You just proved my point because you forgot.
Let me be very clear. If you do too much in a relationship with me, my closure going to be real like, hey, this ain't worked out. Go.
Jason!
Nah, because see, some of y'all need all that extra meat and potato breakup. Like, nah, let's just slice this steak up, digest it slowly, then get the hell out. Because, I mean, what do you sit and talk about? Like, you could only go so much into why it didn't work out. Closure for me is not like a 3-hour conversation. It's just there needs to be one thing, one moment that brings it all together, puts a button on it or a bow, and then puts it in a box. That's it.
Jason,
I think in every other relationship I've had a successful closure to, so yeah.
Jason, just a quick question. Is there a small thing, like a thoughtful thing that someone can do that will make you feel endeared to them again? Like, is there something that someone could do that could make you feel like, oh, you know what? This is a rare thing that I want back in my life. Because I've had a situation like that recently, and
Absolutely.
I'm curious.
Absolutely. Don't call me again. Give me.
Wait, so
that's the thing. That's what you can give me. Don't call me. Like, once you know that it's not cool like that, and when we have our closure though, just don't call me. You gave me back what I lost. Peace. I'm good. My other exes, we're good. We can hang out. We go drink. We party. Whatever. They come to the house. Me and one of my exes, we even rent the strippers and have them come over and have a good time.
Oh,
But I have closure when I close that door. He goes home to his husband. By the way, my New York apartment, I don't live in New York anymore. So I'm just out of New York City and back here in LA full time. So no more stripper late nights. All right, well, look, I don't know how we transitioned to this one, but here we are. Meek Mill.
wait,
Nothing
what?
to
From
nothing to do
Sneaky
with
Links.
strippers. Look, Meek Mill is speaking out after South Florida law enforcement warns community about, quote, wheels up, guns down riders. Now, while many across the world were enjoying their Martin Luther King holiday, law enforcement was patrolling the roads as they anticipated hundreds of people to take part in this wheels up, guns down movement. Now, law enforcement says that the annual event started as a way to honor Dr. King. In recent years, authorities say it is a dangerous display of stunts and racing on South Florida streets. So there's this strong warning for anybody contemplating there's this strong warning for anybody contemplating hitting the road and driving recklessly. Now, the sheriff announced that they will not withstand any ATV or dirt bike riders who ride recklessly, block traffic, ride against it, pop wheelies, or ride on sidewalks. And now I guess this is something that happens annually, and that's difficulty. There's difficulty in South Florida. So, what y'all think? Is this too much to do about nothing, or what? Because now I just feel like they're taking all the fun for all the bikers
I see
and leaving
both
them with nothing
sides.
to do.
Like I grew up in Philly, we rode dirt bikes and ATVs as kids. I get it. It's so much fun. And even this year, I'm getting my motorcycle license because I do like to ride. But I've been on the road during these events, right? They're blocking the street. You know, it's 50 bikes going by and you can't get to where you need to go during the holiday. So I get it. It is a concern. If you're a regular driver, if you're not on one of those bikes, it's going to annoy the hell out of you. I'm telling you, it's 100 bikes flying by. They're blocking intersections. You can't get where you got to go. It's going to be a traffic phenomenon. So I do see both sides. I think it's good when you think about it is something to get the kids away, grown-ups away from doing whatever they're doing usually because it's bonding. It's a community event. You know, everybody's coming together. But at the same time, it's wild on the road and it is dangerous. We got to be real. Riding those bikes on the roads are dangerous, and it is what it is. So I do see both sides of it.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion either way. I don't ride a dirt bike. I don't ride ATVs. Why are ATVs being ridden on main streets anyway? I only see that come out of your city, Philly. I mean, you ride ATVs in Park City, Utah, when you're going to find your ski lodge. I mean, ATVs don't belong. I live in the hills. If I was in the hills and I saw my little stupid neighbor's kid up and down the street, I would put
So
I
fun.
would put a row of nails across the street and I would watch his tires blow up.
Wait,
I
what?
did that. Oh, I can't even. That was illegal. Anyway, I would just line the roll up. Yeah, if you're riding up and down my
No.
block with an ATV, yes. Yeah,
It's
what are you
fun.
doing? There is nowhere for you. You are not in a jungle. There is no.
They're
What are you
children.
doing?
So you're allergic to joy. You are allergic to joy, Jason. They're children having a
No,
joyous moment.
I like joy. Let me tell you the joy I like. Joy Behar on The View. That's the
You
joy
know
that I
what?
like. I don't have joy by watching some kid pop a wheelie up and down the hill on a new dirt bike he shouldn't be riding anyway. I think that it's ghetto. I think that it's inappropriate, and I think that it's embarrassing that we are riding up and down the street on one wheel. When I see that at the circus. Those people are up and down on one wheel. Now, shout out to the one wheelie community. Look, do your thing and do it proudly. Shout out to this is no shot at Meek Mill and his people. You guys are very talented. But don't you hate when you see people pop those wheelies and then they hit the ground and then they scrape their skin all the way to the white bone? And then now they're
Oh,
sitting here with these big old pussy scabs talking about, look what happened. You shouldn't have been doing it anyway.
they should regulate it. I think there's a happy medium where they could just find a safe space where this is a COVID compliant way for people to not be violent and come together as a community. So I think this is a missed opportunity for them to find a way to do it where it's regulated and where the consumers who want to partake in that can do that and be safe, and everybody else can go about their business. If you can stop the street for a parade, why can't you find a little spot for the community to have fun, especially during COVID?
That's
I
a
don't
good
see a
idea.
problem with it.
Black folks need to stop trying to find a way to make Martin Luther King Day permissible for anything they want to do. He had a dream of freedom. They wouldn't have a dream to be free to do whatever you want to do. Like it's COVID. Stay in the house. Chestnuts are roasting on an open fire.
That
Be
was
with your
Christmas.
It's the
Christmas
holiday.
is over.
It's the holidays. Like, why? Oh, side note. Cardi told me she was leaving her tree up to March. Isn't that too long to leave your Christmas tree
That's
up?
ridiculous. A Valentine's Christmas tree for her and Her booty. No, I don't think you should have a Christmas tree in February and March, Cardi. It's a
I'm sure
gorgeous
that
tree though.
I'm sure that tree was hefty in the pocket. So it's like
It
keep that thing
probably
up as
was,
long as
but
you can.
but March is too close to April. Damage. What they gonna do? Wait till the Easter Bunny come to take it down? Like take the tree down. Yes, Cardi may have had a big tree, but I'm gonna tell you who don't have something big, and that's a man whose penis shrunk by 1.5 inches. Now, this guy who was saying that he wants to stay anonymous, which I totally understand, is claiming that his penis has shrunk 1.5 inches as a side effect to COVID-19. Now, the man revealed the quote How to Do It podcast about the side effects he experienced after contracting the virus and said that his penis size has gone down to quote average size. He says, in July of last year, I contracted COVID and I was very sick. And when I got out of the hospital, I had some erectile dysfunction issues, he said. He went on to say that erectile dysfunction gradually got better with some medical attention, but I seemed to be left with a lasting problem. Before I got sick, my penis was above average and it wasn't that huge, but it was bigger than normal. But now that I've lost about 1.5 inches, it's become less than average.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, this is frightening news, right? When they talked about COVID, they told us a lot of the symptoms, right? They didn't tell us this one. I'm telling you, it's a lot of people out there in these day parties and these nightclubs. If they would have found this out, they ass would be inside with the N95, two of them on in their house in the bed. Like erectile dysfunction is already that's really scaring me. And then after that, finally you get that thing up, and then you lose 1.5 inches. Now I haven't had COVID yet, knock on wood, but I'm not going to get it because if I lose 1.5 inches, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, damage. If you lose 1.5 inches, there's this pump that the stripper in New York uses. I'll mail you one for your birthday. Listen, this is ridiculous. First of all, the average size penis in the U.S. from what I Googled, because yes, I do research here at Hollywood Unlocked. It's like around five. It's like 5.5 inches. So that's already scary in general. And for those of us that are way above average, I think losing 1 inch or two, we got a little bit to spare. But I will say that this guy is now saying that his penis is below average, which means technically it's below 5 inches, which I'm telling you is beyond something to be scared of, because I'm telling you, I've seen one of those micro penises before. I'm sorry. I don't believe in hurting
Jason,
oneself.
micro is 3. He's still too big to be
No,
micro.
listen, a micro penis, anything in the 3 to 5 inch conversation.
That is a micro penis. Yeah. Well, he's lying.
Wait, let me finish my thought. Okay,
Sorry.
you're a little long-winded there. Get it? Joke. Long-winded, short penis.
Oh.
Anyway, here's what I will say to this guy, whoever you are. Please stay anonymous. Please do not let us see your face, because I won't lie. If I see your face, I'm going to turn it into an NFT and I'm going to attach that to the black rhino pill that makes your stay harder for hours. So, damage to your concern about erectile dysfunction, don't worry. There's a pill at 7-Eleven, $2.99, knocks that problem right out. Now, as far as the losing 1.5 inches, I'm telling you, as somebody who's caught COVID, I didn't lose anything. You'll be fine.
Lying. The only way for you to lose 1.5 inches of your penis is to gain a lot of weight. So a lot of people don't know this. When you gain weight, your penis starts to recede and you actually lose some to your tummy. And when you lose a lot of weight, like 100 or so pounds, suddenly you actually gain a couple of inches. So unless he's been eating those snacks, I very much doubt he just lost 1.5 inches from COVID.
But now
I lost 120 pounds. So
Jason, are you bragging? You're bragging. Okay, watch your inbox.
What would be worse?
Just saying, my bedroom is booked and busy. Just keep it rolling. Just keep on rolling.
I'm trying to think what's worse though. You can't get it up, or you can get it up and you just lost 1.5 inches. Because I think the erectile dysfunction is scaring me more than losing 1.5 inches.
There's erectile dysfunction where you just absolutely can't get it up, or it's harder to get it up. Harder to get it up. That was funny. Is it harder to get up, or is it you just can't get it up? Because I don't even know what like true erectile dysfunction is.
It's hard for you to perform and to get it up. And I would say for me as a woman who has to deal with men with penises, I think anything that has to do with erectile dysfunction is worse than size, because when a man is having problems with his junk, the level of anxiety and anger and displaced frustration, he turns into a crybaby. And all of a sudden, all his masculinity goes away because he feels like crap because he can't get his penis up or keep it up. And now he's taking it out on you. I would never choose that. I'd rather have somebody lose 1.5 inches than deal with the crybaby who can't deal with his man parts. And also, size doesn't matter, guys. Sometimes the guys that have big penises are really bad in bed because they're lazy. So
Okay, well, you said as a woman who deals with men who have penises. Well, as a man who deals with men who have penises, because I think you forgot for a quick moment that there's two people on the show that deal with men with penises. Um, I've not had a problem with a man that has erectile dysfunction. Every man that knew how to get it up. I do have a problem with men with small penises. I'm not judging you, but I am. There's no place for you at this location. But I'll tell you again, erectile dysfunction. Maybe some men just can't get hard because the woman or the man are just not pleasing enough. I mean, there's been some people that I've been sexually attracted to, and then maybe they come over with, gym balls or something, and you're like, yo, you don't, that tart smelling just turned everything off. I had one guy come in town and fall down the stairs and bump his head and was bleeding. Like, I'm not attracted to that. So my penis is not going to perform. This isn't the army. It doesn't do this as soon as you walk in the room. You do have to arouse me. Have we forgot the responsibility that you own to arouse me? And I'll tell you, as you get older and after you've had sex with more people than few, okay.
Wow, really?
You just expect there to be some electricity. I'll be honest with you. Some of you are the reason why some people don't get it up. Not that they can't, they just don't get it up because you don't feel an obligation to perform. If I want you to dress like Homie the Clown and come in here and take that ass and throw it in a circle, that's your job. If I want to play some type of, I don't know, romance where I just like put you in a closet and call you R. Kelly, that's your job. And I feel like nowadays people are just not into role playing and keeping that excitement going. And now that I think about just being R. Kelly in any capacity, that's not even sexy. And now won't get hard for that.
ED is linked to depression. So even if you are the sexiest, most poppin' it person on the world, if your partner is depressed or stressed, it does not matter how fine you are, they're gonna have problems. So Jason, you're dealing with some really happy people. Maybe they've used some drugs, but if you're depressed, you might get ED.
Sorry. Yeah, I've been depressed, I've been stressed, and I've been assessed. And either way, that thing just keeps on ticking.
Damn.
Wrong with it?
I got that energizer penis. Look, I don't know. There's a lot happening in the streets where some people just, have lost it in the bedroom. I wonder what is the treatment process for making sure that your little drummer boy can beat on?
Like you said, you go to 7-Eleven. What's it called? The Black Rhino?
Oh my God.
Prescribed from Dr. 7-Eleven?
You better not take that pill with high blood pressure because I'm going to tell you, one time I slept with one of my friend's ex-boyfriends on the Black Rhino and 4 hours into that thing, I was still going. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
What? There was so much in that sentence.
That's what he said.
You know what? This show has gone off the rails.
Yeah, this is wild.
All right, one last thing we want to cover before we get out of here. Shout out to Andre Leon Talley, a fashion icon who passed away at the age of 73. I saw this all over social media. We also posted on Hollywood Unlocked. I was privileged to meet him at Marc Jacobs' wedding. This is someone who had a lot of influence over American and international fashion as the creative director for Vogue for many years. A lot of people thought he was slighted when he left the magazine. And this is somebody who looks like us, who dominated in a space that very few people look like us. Blue Damage, did you see this? And did you see the impact that he's having on the fashion community and all over social media?
Yeah, I think Andre Leon Talley's loss is a major one, particularly for people who are in this industry, who are in rooms where you don't necessarily see a person of color. He was a trailblazer, not just for fashion, but for the Black community and for the queer Black community in particular. To have a man who was at the intersections of so many minorities being allowed to be sitting next to Anna Wintour, who's considered the grande dame of fashion. He opened so many doors. He paved so many ways. He was so kind behind the scenes. Everybody has an ALT story about how he made them feel beautiful in a moment where fashion was determined to make them feel ugly. So for someone like him, who was the ultimate gatekeeper and giving us access to luxury, I am so sad to see his loss, but I feel like his legacy lives on in this new wave of kids who now can dream about what fashion gets to look like because they saw him representing us. So major, major loss.
Yeah. And, I'm not too familiar with him, but I do know it's Black history. As Blue said, you have this Black man working at Vogue magazine behind the scenes at a time where it wasn't a lot of people doing it. And I think also, if you just look at him physically and you think about high fashion, especially in those times at the late 80s, early, mid 80s, late 80s, 90s, you didn't look at fashion that way. And I feel like he was a game changer in that right too, as far as what high fashion looks like and what's that physique and that build you're supposed to have. I think he's a game changer on so many fronts. And I'm sorry that we have lost him, but I'm also honored that now his legacy will live on forever because the dude's been an icon since he stepped onto the scene, and I'm just honored to be able to speak about him. And once again, that's Black history right there.
Yeah, and this is right on the heels of Virgil passing away, who was also a big figure in fashion, who
Yep.
looked like us in spaces where we don't exist. So, I always say that there's room opening up for other people to come and fill those shoes, but those shoes are gonna be hard to fill because these were some of the greats. So we're sending our love and condolences to him and his family and everybody impacted by this death. And we'll be back next week. Peace.